liability. Many of these schools are focusing on new and traditional literacies, thinking about how technology in particular can be leveraged and used to connect students, to work on collaborative projects and ideas. And again, this idea of service learning, how can we get kids into the world to be able to demonstrate their learning to a broader audience? So the essential question that we very often will ask teachers to think about is, what would globally focused curriculum and instruction look like in the different content areas? And so when we think about this, we're thinking, very often schools have curriculums in place, and in some cases they're mandated curriculums by districts. So we have to help them think strategically about when and where they can infuse global into their curriculum and be really intentional about putting some of these performance assessments in as well. Because the last thing we want to do is promote this idea of over-testing or testing more. In fact, we'd like to argue that there's other ways to assess student learning other than standardized test scores, and that by preparing students in these ways and engaging them in meaningful learning, we're not just preparing them for a lifetime of tests, but for the test of life. So one of the frameworks that we like to use with teachers to get them reflecting, and for those of you on the call today who are classroom teachers, perhaps this is a framework that you can start to think about today, is to what extent do you offer these opportunities to your kids? And so we call it SAGE as sort of our heuristic. But the first piece is around student choice. To what extent in your classrooms do you provide students choice to think about not just what they learn, but how they learn it and in what ways they demonstrate that learning? The more we can specialize or focus students and give them those different opportunities, not only will we find that they're more motivated, but in some cases the quality of their work will be increased quite greatly. In what ways in your classrooms are you giving them an authentic context? In other words,